Hello and welcome back for another Penny Dreadful video. Today we're going to be talking about the Lantern control deck of this format. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. It's a deck that denies your opponent top decks. It's a control deck and it runs Zer's Weirding to stop your opponent from top decking out of the situation once you've taken control. So Zer's Weirding is kind of a weird card. It's a 4-mana enchantment. Players play with their hands revealed. If a player would draw a card, they reveal it instead, then any other player may pay 2 life. If a player does, put that card into its owner's graveyard, otherwise that player draws a card. So what this does is it denies your opponent top decks. Maybe they're drawing something, you don't want them to draw that. You pay 2 life and it goes into their graveyard. Now this is a symmetrical effect, so your opponent can also do that for your top decks, but this deck is kind of designed to win even when there's a Zer's Weirding on the table. So there's graveyard value to kind of break through the lock. So the situation you want to get into with this deck is that you have control of the board. So there's nothing on the board that you can't deal with. You know what's in their hand and you think you can beat that as well with the cards in your hand, or maybe they're empty-handed. And then you slam the Zer's Weirding on the table. If you have somewhat of a reasonable life total, you can just mill whatever relevant cards you think you cannot beat. And then your deck's kind of designed to win through this situation with the Zer's Weirding on the table where your opponent can deny you top decks. Because you have cards like Lockmere Serpent, which can come back from the graveyard. You have Champion of Wits, which you can internalize. You have Rika's Spawn, which you can escape. They have to sacrifice a creature and you have a creature to kill them with. So yeah, that's kind of the card the deck's built around. And that gives it that Lantern-esque feel where you're just denying them top decks. Some of the other cards are just very good control cards, just a blue-black control deck. Blue-black has amazing mana this season. You play Brainstorm, you play Ponder, you play Cling to Dust because you do want to try and answer the graveyard, because if your opponent has graveyard synergies, your Zer's Weirding can't stop those. And Cling to Dust is also a way to gain life, so you can keep making payments to the Zer's Weirding. If it goes to your graveyard with the Zer's Weirding, it at least gives you a little bit of value. Disfigure against aggro, duress to make sure that you can slam the Zer's Weirding on the table and take away some cards that are hard to deal with. Diabolic Edict, just for like edge champions, if you can clear the board, or bigger creatures, go for the throat, good removal. Bile Blight removal, Hymn to Torok, very good card. If at some point they're like stacking cards in their hand, so you don't know if you can resolve for Zer's Weirding, you can just empty their hand with this. Drown in the Lock, a versatile spell. It can be both removal as well as a counter spell. Forbidden Alchemy, nice card advantage. This can also be used to clear the top of your deck once you've played a Brainstorm. It can help you dig for Zer's Weirding, and it has flashback for 7, so there's that graveyard synergy. I'm running a Neutralize, Vraska's Contempt, a removal spell that can gain you some life, Yahini's Expertise, clean up the board, and Clutch of the Undercity, which is both a bounce spell for problematic permanents as well as a transmute card for 4. So it can get you sweepers, it can get you a Vraska's Contempt, but most importantly, it's another versatile copy of Zer's Weirding, essentially. The sideboard is just more good control cards. Annul, because artifacts and enchantments can be hard to deal with. Negate for control matchups. Disfigures for aggro. More duresses for combo and control. Feed the Swarm to deal with problematic enchantments and any creatures. Knight of Soul's Betrayal, I love this card. Not many people play this, but I think it's amazing. This blanks so many cards out of so many decks. When you slam this on the table, there's like, some decks have 8 to 12 threats that you don't have to worry about as long as this is on the table, because your opponent can't play them. Another sweeper with Yahini's Expertise, and then 3 spell bombs for the graveyard decks, because you want to be able to stop those, otherwise your whole Zer's Weirding plan doesn't really work. So this deck, I think, was championed by Ludwig Frito. He's had some success with it. I tried it once at the beginning of the season. I did 5-0 with it, had a lot of fun with it, and then kind of lost interest in it. I saw some people doing well with it again, so I figured let's run this through a league. It might be interesting for some people to see the lines that I take with this deck, just because it's not a very intuitive deck, and I'm not saying I'm amazing with it, but I do think I have a pretty good grasp of how to play it. But let's see if that's actually the case, and just go into our first match. So this is round 1. We're on the play. Let's see our opening hand. Brainstorm and a bunch of fetches. We don't have the island, so that's kind of awkward already. But I guess we do keep. We can play Bad River turn 1. Then a Bad River turn 2, and then we can fetch for an island, brainstorm, and then on our upkeep, fetch the bad cards away. Let's play our Bad River, say go. Scoured Barrens, okay. I have no idea what this is. Clutch, so that is our weirding if we need it. It's a slow way to get it, but it's a way to get it. Play Bad River, pass the turn. Another Scoured Barren, so they're off to a very slow start. Let's just fetch, get ourselves an island, put a stop on our upkeep. Brainstorm. I guess I put back a swamp and maybe the other brainstorm. I do want lands, and the brainstorm is not super relevant, I think. I don't know how good this duress will be, but I kind of just want to see what's up. I can also just not fetch. Yeah, I kind of like not fetching. Draw the extra land and just fetch away one of the lands. Play a swamp. Duress. So what are they on? Heartless Sack, Hymn the Torok, Griffin Airy. So I either have to deal with Griffin Airy or with my stuff getting hymned. Both are not very appealing. They also have a lot of life gain, so they can easily pay life to stop our weirding if and when we resolve it. This Griffin Airy is really annoying, and once it resolves, we can't get rid of it. So as much as it sucks to get hymned, I think we just have to have that happen. Pass the turn, and then see what our opponent does. I imagine they are gonna hymn us. I don't think we protect our hand with Brainstorm, because all of our cards are sort of interchangeable. Yeah, Champion of Wits, Forbidden Alchemy. Well, we can get value from those in the graveyard. I do want to fetch. We get another island. Sunken Ruins. I don't think we want this disfigure, so let's Brainstorm. Let's put away Disfigure and Vraska's Contempt. And then we just hymn them. We hit 2 lands, so we know they have Heartless Act, Indulgent Partition or whatever, and the Lone Missionary, so that's okay. I kind of want to use my mana here, even though that means we're drawing the Disfigure. Yeah, I guess that's fine. This Vraska's Contempt is going to be cast next turn anyway, to just kill the Indulgent Partition, Attrition. Take away any of the pressure that they might have. Yep. Okay. So they're sort of on empty after this. Let's just cast this. We have a very healthy life total. I'm hoping to dodge another Griffin Airy. So we're close to being in a situation where we just want to cast Zur's Weirding. Vindicate. Okay. It's kind of annoying. So we have fetch, transmute. And then if next turn they don't show us anything, I guess we can't actually play Zur's Weirding just yet. We don't have the lands to be able to cast any of our graveyard threats, and then they can just keep us off lands. We kind of want to get to 7, I guess, to be able to use Forbidden Alchemies. We're close. Lone Missionary. Yeah, that's totally fine. We're just going to kill the Lone Missionary with the Disfigure. Hope to draw some sort of card draw. You can take the Heartless Act. I don't really want to, but let's just kill this. Is there a reason to play this Duress? I don't think so. Any non-creature spell they generally would have played. So let's just keep it in hand. If we want to find a Brainstorm, we can discard it to it. Griffin Airy. Okay. They must have drawn that, otherwise they would have done that last turn. Sunken Ruins. Still don't think we want to cast Zur's Weirding. Let's fetch another Swamp. And I think we just cling to Dust to draw a card. Get rid of their Vindicate. I guess just cast Duress anyways. Probably misses, but we do want them. Ah, they drew a Vindicate. Yeah, that's a card that they would keep in hand, I guess. Just to be able to have an answer to the Weirding. We want to make sure the coast is clear. Land we can beat. So if we draw on the land, I think we're slamming the Weirding. Ooh, that's good too. So let's just play this thing. They have a Heartless Act. They can kill our guy, but then we can escape it again. Or Revitalize. We pay 2 life to put that in the graveyard. Otherwise they make it 2/2 and draw another card. So they have a higher life total, but we have a threat. Kind of hope they just give us this land. They do. I like it. Play the Spawn. Probably kill it, but that's fine. And then we have a Champion of Wits. Then we can get back. We have Forbidden Alchemy, Temple of Silence. No, they can keep that. They're scrying. They put it on top. Well, we have news for them. They're never going to get to draw it, if it's good at least. Yahini's expertise. Yeah, they're just giving us that. And what is their plan? To try and race us by just gaining some life, but we'll never give them life gain. Just pass the turn. This game is basically over. Put Vindicate into the graveyard. Yes. And they're stuck with Heartless Act. And we'll fetch, find, I guess, an island, and Forbidden Alchemy. Not that we're really looking for anything. I mean, Hymn to Torque is fine. So we just forced our lost cards out of their hand. And then they have to kill our guy. We could just get it back. We can also get back the champion at that point. Hymn them, and just let it happen. Put the temple into the graveyard. They can have a land. Yeah, go scry. See what else we need to put into the graveyard. Champion of Wits. Let's just eternalize our champion. Yeah, basically this is not that interesting anymore. We're just, anything that beats us, we put into the graveyard. Anything that doesn't beat us, we just give them, and then we slowly beat them down. They can think about racing us, but they will never get to. Don't need another weirding, don't need another land. We'll slowly beat them down. They can't draw anything anymore that gets them out of this, unless we misclick. Yeah, this is a fun one. Okay, Cling to Dust kinda does something. We will pay 2 life. Okay, we draw our own Cling to Dust, so I might just skip this part, and we win. So basically what happened over the last couple turns was we slowly beat them down, never let them draw a relevant card. Anything that would hurt us, we put it to the graveyard. Anything that doesn't bother us like lands, they can keep. So they can never get us if we're in a healthy life total. I think I want the annuls against this deck. The life gain is pretty consistent, so they can get consistent 2/2s, and I can't just easily deal with it. I want Feed the Swarm because of that. I think Knight of Souls Betrayal. They have some X ones, I think. Diabolic Edict doesn't seem that great. This figure, surprisingly, not that relevant. I think the Clutch is somewhat slow. I can expect them to board in Duresses. Maybe some negate. Neutralize is a little slow. Yeah, let's try this. We have an answer for their Griffinary. We have removal. We have a counter spell. This seems good. Start with a temple. Let's try. They keep on top. Let's start with an island. So you go. Swamp from our opponent. Do we get hymned? Griffinary. Okay, we can kill that. So that's good. They are down to 3 cards in hand, so I guess they mold. Let's just kill this before it gets dressed. Another temple. Let's see if they keep on top. They bottom. Alseid of Life's Bounty. Okay. Ooh, a null. I like that. Let's just play this. See go. We can play the spawn next turn to just kind of stop their Alseid. Or we can just take a little bit more damage. Just because I kind of want to keep up a null. Scarred Barons. They get a lot of life. Are we getting hymned? Looks like it. Yeah, we can't counter it just yet. Drown and a null are gone. That's annoying because now we don't have a good answer to the Griffinary. Let's just play our spawn then to kind of stop the beats. And then we can say go. I think we just really want to find like a Ponder or Brainstorm or a Forbidden Alchemy. What do they have? Indulgent Patrician. So 1/4, that's kind of awkward, but they can protect it. So we can hymn to get their lost card. I feel like I might want to do that. Lone Missionary. So this is what we need to beat right now. I can Bulb Light away this guy. Might have to, because otherwise this is just going to protect the vampire. But I can take some hits for now. They do not attack. I'll get that, but okay. Let's just Cling to Dust to draw a card. A null. Okay, so we have an answer to their enchantment again. And negate. That's also an answer to their enchantment. We just need to find some card draw now. Or obviously Zer's Weirding would also be good. Cling to Dust. Interesting. We can do 2 things here. We can negate their Cling to Dust just to deny them the card draw. Or we can use our Cling to cling their target. I kind of want to just negate it and then eat their Cling to Dust on our own turn. Otherwise they gain the 3 life. This triggers, we lose 3 life. And I kind of want to keep a nice healthy life total. So we cling their Cling and draw a card. Him the Torok. Not sure what they could be holding. I'm guessing it's not super relevant. Let's just wait and maybe try and get 2 cards next turn. Might be greedy. Duress. Okay. Oh, I guess they take the annul. They do. Still not attacking with their flyer. Okay, Ponder. That's good. That's what we wanted to see. Brainstorm, Champion of Wits, Ponder. So I want to put Brainstorm, Ponder, Champion. Shuffle, no. We play this Champion. And we get rid of these 2 cards, I feel. Get rid of these 2. Ponder. And I want these as well. We'll put I kind of wanted to put Sunken Ruins, Brainstorm, Forbidden Alchemy. Unfortunately, you can't undo your clicks on MTGO. So let's just stick with this then. I guess not drawing that Brainstorm is also not that bad. Our 7th Lamp is also kind of valuable with the Forbidden Alchemy. Don't want to attack. We're just staring at each other for now. They don't attack either. They don't play anything. Now I kind of wish I had that Him the Torok, Forbidden Alchemy. Frascus Contempt, Drown in the Lock. I think I take Drown. It's nice to have a counter. We can cling something. We still can't really attack. Planes. Okay. They could have attacked us for quite a bit of damage by now if they just attacked with their flyer. Feed the Swarm. Okay, that's good. Guess we just wait. Keep up Forbidden Alchemy. Flash that back. We're looking for a Zer's Weirding and maybe still that Him to Torok to get rid of those final few cards in their hand. I would be happy with the Duress also, just to see if the coast is clear. We're kind of where we want to be, we just need to slam the door. We Forbidden Alchemy into another Alchemy. I think I don't need this many removal spells, so let's Brainstorm first. Don't need the Henny's Expertise, and I guess I only need 1 Duress. So let's Duress them, Disenchant. So they did have another answer for our Weirding. And let's Forbidden Alchemy. Lockmere Serpent, Him to Torok. I think I take the Him to Torok so I can get their whole hand next turn. Or maybe wait until we can resolve a Weirding and then play this. We do need to find a Weirding. Kind of spinning our wheels until that time. Although this Lockmere Serpent can also start clocking them. They play up Plains, which we knew they had. Griffin Airy. Do want to counter that. Sunken Ruins, that's not what we wanted. Let's just play our land and we can exile 5 cards from their graveyard. No, I don't really want to return this guy. As good as that is, I just want to use this Forbidden Alchemy to finally get our Weirding and then lock up this game, and then we can bother with getting back the Serpent. I guess I actually shouldn't have countered this Griffin Airy. Should have just Feed the Swarm it. Duress, yeah, sure. I imagine they take the Feed the Swarm. They take the Go for the Throat. So there's the Zer's Weirding. Let's take that. And now we should have this game locked up. There's no real way out for them, except us losing to the clock, but that's not going to happen. We get back our Serpent, and we have our clock. And they can go. This is the portion of the match where they're locked out. They keep on playing, even though they're never going to draw a relevant card. Okay, this time they just scoop. All right, that was a pretty good match 1. Let's see if we can win our second as well. Back for our second round. This is a fine hand. We have him. We have some cantrips. This looks good. I really would like to draw Sunken Ruins. Foulmere Knight, just as a 1/1 Death Touch. Interesting. Sunken Ruins would let us him a lot faster. I guess that also lets us him. And technically we could Brainstorm next turn if we want to hide some cards. I guess this is some sort of adventure deck, or maybe just knights or Death Touchers. I don't know. Let's see. Attack for 1, we take it. Timuret. So this is like mono black aggro. I do want to him them just so they don't get like a super big board. And this is much more manageable. I discarded Dreadshade and Josu. I guess it's more of a control deck then. And then Foulmere Knight is just there to draw a card, and then versus aggro it's a blocker. Dreadshade is a good one. Luckily we can answer that with the Contempt and gain back a little bit of life. Yeah, we take 3. I think I like Brainstorming here because we have some things we wouldn't mind putting back. I don't really need this Swamp, and Cling to Dust is not likely to be super relevant. Then we play our Bad River. We can fetch some things away on our upkeep, and then next turn we can either play the Spawn, but I think it's better to just kill the Dreadshade. Ooh, Desecration Demon. That's also a thing we need to kill. All right, our opponent's draws after the Him to Torok were definitely not bad. And we're actually under a ton of pressure right now. We get an island. And then what do we draw? Yahini's Expertise. Then this turn we Frascus Contempt the Desecration Demon. They attack us for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe even 11 if they draw another land. Yeah, I think that's our best bet. And then the turn after we can sweep their board. Yeah, I guess this is the best plan that we have. Just do it now. Dreadshade hits like a truck. Hope they just pump it all the way up. That would be best. If they actually kept mana up, we wouldn't be able to hit this with the Yahini's Expertise. That would have been rough. Right now, less so. So play the Sunken Runes, and then we just Yahini's Expertise. Then I guess we cast Brainstorm. Our Zer's rating is not that exciting. Back River of Tears, Sunken Runes. Let's Ponder, shuffle away those bad cards. We draw Sunken Runes anyway. So we are at 2, so playing Zer's Weirding is not the best right now. Archfiend's Vessel. We play our land, Freakus Spawn, just to have a blocker. And then they're up. Swamp, okay. Sign in Blood. I'm actually going to counter that. I don't want them to draw more cards. If it's 2 must answers, then I might as well just counter it. What if they draw 2 cards? Then I need to answer those anyway. Cling to Dust. Okay, that's nice. So we can gain some life. Let's start by brainstorming. Okay, put back this. And let's play Champion. Draw 2 cards, yes. Discard 2 lands. And I actually think I want to attack with this Spawn, just to get our clock on. If they want to attack their vessel into our champion, they're more than welcome, because then we can maybe eternalize it later. Okay, they draw a card and lose a life. Get their Death Touch blocker. I guess I could have counted that as well, but with the Lost Dram, it's a little bit more valuable. Just block. And then I guess I just exile the Archfiend now, in case they can reanimate it. Gains us a little bit of life, a little bit of breathing room. And then let's just eternalize our big guy. Draw some more cards. We discard the Spawn, and I guess the Bad River. The Spawn we can escape if we need to. If they want to trade, that's fine. They don't. Grey Merchant. Ooh. We're down to 2 again. So now we kind of have to block, or we go down to 1. I guess we block. We don't need the 4/4 to win. And then we can play our land, get back the Freakus Spawn, escaping 3 cards. They need to sacrifice their Grey Merchant. We can freely attack. We have a counter for any other Grey Merchant. And then next turn we can start with Cling to Dust to gain a little bit of life back. So this game we're not a Zer's Weirding deck, we were just a blue-black control deck. So let's see how we want to sideboard. Yahini's Expertise doesn't seem terrible. Knight of Soul's Betrayal is not that good against them. Feed the Swarm is a little awkward. I guess this figure is... Maybe the Knight of Soul's Betrayal is still fine. They had some 1 toughness creatures. Just killing all of those is kind of nice. Doesn't synergize particularly well with Champion of Wits, but in some ways it does, because it actually dies immediately. Don't want these Duresses. Maybe we actually do need Feed the Swarm. Take out this Clutch again. It's so clunky. Maybe 1 Feed the Swarm is fine. Or just take out the Disfigure, because we already boarding in extra Yahini's Expertise. And we just need to be able to kill their big dudes, even if it costs us a bunch of life. Okay, this hand is pretty bad. We have some ways to find the lands that we're missing, but it's a Brainstorm, so we might as well lock ourselves. There's no reason to keep this. This isn't much better. This, I guess, is fine. They began with 7 cards in their hand. I guess we keep. Put back this figure and the land. We need these Yahinis to be good. Who knows? Falmer Knight. Okay. Island, so we can hide some cards if they have a discard spell. Timmeret. Okay. No blocks. Another Brainstorm. Let's play this Bad River so we can fetch away. They attack us for 3. And they don't do anything. They miss their land drop. So Brainstorm, put away a Swamp and another Brainstorm. I don't need the 3rd, especially because I already don't have some way to shuffle for this one. Get an island, draw a card, Ball Blight. That's not bad. I guess I should have fetched a Swamp actually. Play the River of Tears. I kind of hope that they draw land and are able to play like a Dreadshade. They can exile cards from our graveyard, sure. That would be kind of perfect. Perfect. See, that's exactly what we wanted. Bad River, okay. Let's Yahini's. Let's just Brainstorm off of it. We now have a way to fetch 2 turns from now, but still. So we put back Swamp, Ponder. I'm more happy to, if they have a hymn, that they hymn a spawn than a Ponder. Dreadshade. Okay, we can kill that with the Bellblight. And I think we do, because that card is kind of scary. I don't want to Ponder because I kind of know what I'm getting, and I don't like that. Timuret. So here we fetch for a Swamp, and we Ponder and play our spawn. Champion of Wits is also interesting, but let's just Ponder first. Lockmere Serpent, land. Serpent is not bad, but it's also kind of awkward because if they kill it, they can exile it with Timuret right now, and I don't want that. So let's just shuffle. Oh, we won the match. Just like that, our opponent just scooped it up. Yep, I guess we take it. On to round 3. Back for our third game. We have a pretty decent hand here. We have a hymn, we have removal, we have some blockers and some card filtering. So let's keep this. We're on the draw. Our opponent plays a Swamp and passes. We draw another hymn, so I guess we just play our Swamp and then another Swamp next turn and try to hymn them out of the game. They hymn us. They take a land. Kind of annoying. And the Disfigure. So now we get to hymn them. This is exciting magic. Necrologia, what does that do? Seems like an interesting card. I'm not sure if it's actually good, but can draw a lot of cards, I guess. Play our Bad River, hymn them again. Yeah, I won't mind seeing him rotate out. Reliquary Tower, okay, they're planning on drawing a lot of cards. Another Swamp, all right. We get another Bad River. Guess we just fetch and get an island and then just play this Champion of Wits. I don't think we need another hymn. This Vraska's Contempt could be good, but I doubt it, so let's discard that. What is this? Okay, they kill our guy and gain a bunch of life, that's fine. What do we draw? I guess we just want to draw Zerswerding. We do not. Let's Ponder. River of Tears on the bottom. Ponder. Forbidden Alchemy. Shuffle our library, no. Let's play the Sunken Runes. I'm not going to crack this, and I'm not going to use the Forbidden Alchemy because I kind of just want to draw the Ponder. And then after that, I can fetch this away. Cling to Dust. Yeah, they Cling to Dust, Hymn to Torag, or they just want to draw a card. I imagine... Oh, Hypnotic Spectre. This is an interesting deck. I have no idea what I'm up against. I still feel like I want to draw the Ponder. Let's fetch, get an island. Let's Ponder. Let's put back the Pharika Spawn, the River of Tears, and then the Yahinis. We draw the Yahinis Expertise. Guess we play a Swamp. Play the Yahinis to just get rid of the Hippie. Cast the Forbidden Alchemy. Pharika Spawn. I guess we take the Edict. There is an argument to take the land, but we can't actually have 2 Edicts in our graveyard, although they can start eating some with the Cling. But at least they're not drawing cards then. Shrieking Affliction. Oh, okay. This is a very strange version of that rack deck. I have not seen this before. Clutch. I guess I just get this back and start trying to clock them. This is a pretty quick clock. And we can bounce their Shrieking Affliction if we need to. Hymn the Torag. Yeah, it's annoying. But I guess we just make another guy next turn. Hope to draw a land, actually. Draw the land so we can get back our champion. We draw some cards. Put back Duress and the land. Hope they do not have another hymn. And then this Neutralize should help us lock up this game. I don't like that I don't have Treasure Cruise against the hymn deck and the wreck deck, because that, in my experience, has been so good against them. Basically, it just invalidates most of their game plan. So we don't get Shrieking Affliction. So now it's just a matter of playing out this game. Attack, they go down to 8, so they're dead next turn. Let's just Ponder. Yeah. 2 very good counter spells. Shuffle, no. We should have this locked up. They're Clinging to Dust, clinging for dear life. Pharika Spawn. Then they gain life. I don't really want that to happen. So let's just counter that. And they scoop. All right. on the sideboard. Against them, I definitely want Defeat the Swarms to be able to answer their enchantment. I want answers for their hippies. Don't really want Juresses, just because they're trying to get us to top deck, and then Duress is pretty bad there. It's a weird version of this deck. I guess I don't need these disfigures. You saw a hippie, and we want to be able to kill that. Or maybe Yahini's expertise actually is not that great. Let's just split it, and then let's put in spell bombs or negates. I'm really confused by their build. Spell bombs are okay, they can get rid of their cling to dust, but that's about it. I guess we try negate, see how we like that. Maybe a negate and a disfigure. We didn't see that much of their deck, to be honest, so I don't really know what to expect. All right, second game. We definitely want to keep this. We get to him, and against a deck that's trying to him me, I want to keep any marginally playable hand. Duress, yeah, that's fine. Curious if they just take to him here. Yes, they do. I think I want to play the bad river, so that next turn we can play the River of Tears, brainstorm on their turn, and fetch some of this stuff away. Cling to dust, they draw a card, that's fine. Spellbomb. Spellbomb is somewhat annoying, but not the end of the world. River of Tears. I don't want to see a hippie here. Looks like they don't have it. Do I want to brainstorm? I think I do, because I don't really need this Yahini's expertise, and I don't really need this River of Tears either. So let's fetch, I think, for an island. Let's play our swamp. We have a cling for their cling, and we have a counterspell. So I guess we just wait now. Swamp, they do nothing. Okay, just play the bad river, and I guess we don't do anything. It's tempting to ponder, but at the same time, if they play a big creature, I want to be able to neutralize it because the Bile Blight probably doesn't answer it. So let's just say go. You have another swamp. You have the weird card draw spell. I still don't do anything. So let's play our island. Let's ponder. Don't want this disfigure necessarily. I do want both. I guess the champion is not that great, but let's take the ponder. And I guess we can wait. We can just draw the champion and then ponder again next turn. Shrieking Affliction. I think we just let this happen. It's not doing anything just yet. Unlike game one, we actually have answers for it with Defeat the Swarms, so it's not as scary anymore. End step, kind of tempted to just fire off this cling, and then I can fetch, cling their cling. Yeah, that seems kind of reasonable. They can use the Nile Spellbomb to blank our cling, but didn't think they would. So we get another swamp, so we have consistent double black. Forbidden Alchemy, that's nice. This is ponder. Don't need this disfigure. Cling's fine, but I do want to make my land drops. And go ahead. They use the Nile Spellbomb to draw a card, get rid of our Cling to Dust. It's tempting to use our Cling to just draw a card, but at the same time I want to keep up my counters. And we have another Cling as a backup. What is this? Hypnotic Spectre. Hippie is fine. End step, I think we just Bile Blight this hippie. And then we Forbidden Alchemy. Zer's Weirding. We do take it, but it is kind of scary just to cast it while not exactly knowing what our opponent has in hand. On the other hand, we can answer most of their plays. Might be risky, but I think we have enough answers. Vraska's Contempt, Desecration Demon, Davriel. Yeah, we have this covered. So I think we just win this game now. We can counter the Davriel. Although the Shrieking Affliction, our hand is shrinking. Yeah, we pay 2 life. Yeah, the Shrieking Affliction, our hand is going to shrink. I hadn't considered that. And we don't have a clock yet. So maybe this was actually bad. I mean, we can negate this or neutralize it. Doesn't really matter. I guess we neutralize it. We do have the Forbidden Alchemy also to dig. And we have the champion to dig as well. Just don't reveal Feed the Swarm. Freak a Spawn, that's perfect. We also have the Cling to Dust to gain some life. Just give it to us. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think we want to dig with the Forbidden Alchemy. Yes, we do want to put that into the graveyard. They play the big demon. That's fine. And then on their end step, we Forbidden Alchemy, Feed the Swarm. I think with the Feed the Swarm, we have this game locked up. And we have the Cling in the graveyard. Like another Cling from their side could be annoying potentially, I guess. We could just wait with playing out our threats not to get hit by Vraska's Contempt. And they scoop. All right, yeah, there were some things that could have been annoying, but overall I think we had most of the bases covered and there's like very few ways out of it for them, so I can see scooping. All right, round 4, and we're up against almost a founding father of this deck. Ludwig Frito has been championing this archetype for the last couple seasons, and I kind of copied his list and just made some changes. So let's see how he reacts when he finds out that he's actually playing against his own creation. He's been on Aristocrats lately, but let's see. Maybe we're playing the mirror. I certainly hope not. We're keeping this hand. It has some removal, it has some ways to draw cards. We can get our mana online. Seems fine. Tranquil Thicket. Okay, it's not the mirror, that's for sure. Play our other bad river. Maybe they're on elves? Ooh, Outpost. Okay. Against Outpost, I guess it's more important to find blue mana. Let's play the island. At least we can counter some of their stuff, but we do need to find the weirding and slam it kind of early. Outpost, yeah. Arboreal Grazer, sure. Glimmer Post. So they have a lot of mana next turn. Expedition Map. Yeah, let's just let this resolve. I think we need our counterspell for like a big payoff. I don't like them having so much mana with a second Outpost. Let's play an island. Forbidden Alchemy. Brainstorm, island, Drown in the Lock. I guess I want this Brainstorm. Sort of awkward that we can't shuffle, but if we do find a shuffle, it's kind of nice because we have some dead cards for this matchup, like Baublight. Sunken Ruins. He says he's kind of well equipped against weirding. Yeah, I believe that. Like, Outpost doesn't seem like a great matchup for this deck, but it is the reason why you run weirding, because you deny them all their crazy top decks. But let's see. Forest. So I guess they have a big guy because they're not searching and playing another Outpost. So they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. Decide not to do anything. I don't really want to fire off this Brainstorm. Just play my land, say go. Doesn't necessarily get better for us, but we'll see. Curious what land they find. Here's this Factory. Yeah, that's a difficult one to beat for this deck. And I don't have any land destruction. Vivian's Arkbow, kind of have to counter that one. Another Arkbow. Yeah, I've seen enough. I mean, we can't interact with this. You can just dump their mana into it. Our game does nothing against it. Let's concede, go on to the next one. I like annuls, I like negates, don't care for disfigures, don't like Baublight, don't like Edict, just because they have like grazers and we're never going to kill those. I don't like Yahinis. I do like Duress. Yeah, this hand is absolute garbage. This I like. We put back a Swamp because we don't need more, but this Hymn of Turok gives us a chance of kind of screwing them. So hoping to get a little lucky. They multi 5, so this hymn is going to be pretty backbreaking, I imagine. Let's hope so at least. Play a River of Tears. So we could Brainstorm, we don't want to. Glimmer Post. Okay, so they don't have the Expedition Map. Let's just hymn them. Lodestone Golem, Glimmer Post. Maybe we screw them on lands? I don't know. Forest. Sylvan's Crying. Yeah, I guess if they're smart, they just get Urza's Factory, maybe. I don't want to just Brainstorm. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. Put back Island, Bad River. Play a Swamp, hymn them, Kiora. Okay, so they have one Outpost left in hand, and that's it. This is the way we need to beat them. Arboreal Grazer. Yeah, okay, that's totally fine. Now we just need to find Zur's Weirding. And I guess we Brainstorm. Don't need another hymn, and I don't really need another island. Play the Sunken Ruins, and then we can Forbidden Alchemy. The only thing that we want is Zur's Weirding. It's the only thing that really matters right now. Lodestone Golem. We have an answer for that, so that's fine. Might hit us for once. I think we'll just take Drown in the Lock. Didn't find our weirding yet. So we play our swamp and then we can kill our lodestone golem. Kind of tempted to just take the hit if they don't do anything before combat. And then we can keep open the counter spell in case they play something that we really need to counter. Like an Arkbow or maybe an expedition map. Floor, that's fine. And then we gain back some of the life. Don't really want any of these. A null is okay, I guess. We just want to find a weirding, so let's just shuffle. Negate, that's alright. Forest, guess we do just counter this. We also have the spawn that we can get back, but this is kind of annoying. Just because all of our spells cost more and then we actually can't get the spawn back yet. Another drown, alright. I think I might just take a turn off to get back the spawn. Not have anything up, but we do put some sort of a clock on them. So they have one turn to freely top deck something that we cannot counter. So this is the turn that they have to resolve. Okay, Cloudpost couldn't counter that anyways. We have a land, so we can Forbidden Alchemy. We have 2 counter spells. One for a scary creature, the other for a non-creature. It's a big thing. Gaia's Revenge. Yeah, we can't counter that. Oish. Yeah, that's why you want the Zer's Weirding, to be able to stop stuff like this. I guess we can block it with the spawn at least. Forbidden Alchemy. Let's take the Zer's Weirding. Still just going to slam it. But we are at a low life total. Yeah, we have to pay life for this. As long as they don't draw another creature, I guess we're okay. Reveals a null. I imagine he lets us draw this. Yeah. Now we just wait until we find one of our graveyard cards. No. They can have the forest. They can't really attack. Sunken Ruins. We can have that. Yeah, that makes sense. Put Arboreal Grazer into their graveyard. No. They can have it. Makes our edicts a little bit worse, but that's alright. Yeah, I don't think they can attack. Cling to Dust. That's good. Okay, they scoop it. Gaia's Revenge kind of wants me to have Diabolic Edict. Might actually not be terrible. Go for the Throat maybe is terrible. I'm not sure what other creatures they're running, but Go for the Throat seems like it's maybe a liability. We don't have a lot of ways to kill creatures now, but let's just run with it, see how it goes. Alright, so we kind of have to hope to hit a couple of good hymns again. Alright, this hand is pretty good. We don't have a blue source, but we do get to wreck their hand. We even get to start with a duress. This is the best strategy to try and beat them, I feel. Turn 1 Ancient Stirrings, alright. Glimmer Post, that's not that scary. Alright, we found our blue source. We have to take the Vivian's Arkbow here. Desolation Twin, kind of annoying. Glimmer Post, yep. And Sylvan Scrying for a Cloudpost. And then we hymn them. Let's hope to hit good. Cloudpost Explore. Okay, so they have Desolation Twin, Arboreal Grazer in hand. Yeah, we might be able to beat that. Hate to see a Vivian's Arkbow. They don't play anything. Guess we just hymn them again. And they're left with an Arboreal Grazer. That's how we drew it up. We have a forest and they have a grazer. Only thing that's missing for us now is the weirding. And I kind of just want to take it slow. Keep up the counter spells. Next turn we can play champion and still have drown in the lockup. So you want to make sure they don't get out of this. Cling to Dust is not a bad one. Champion, discard, cling, and I guess a null. I do want my lands. Another Arboreal Grazer. Yeah, those are not as exciting right now. Another drown. So as long as we find something before their Gaia's Revenge gets online, I think we have a lot of the things they can do covered. Forest, alright. Forbidden Alchemy, I like that. Let's still just wait. There's no reason to rush it now. Sylvan Scrying, I'm gonna counter that just because they can get their factory with it. And they can get a bunch of mana obviously, but factory is a card we do not have an answer for. Forbidden Alchemy, guess we just take a land. Him is kind of nice if they get stranded with some cards in hand, but I think this is fine. At least we can flash back to Alchemy looking for that all-important Zer's Weirding. Lodestone Golem. I guess I just flash back Forbidden Alchemy. We have the weirding, so I think we have the game locked up now. You will never get to draw anything relevant, and we have answers for their things. I'm surprised they keep going. I guess Gaia's Revenge is still a card, but we just never let them draw it. Yeah, pay 2 life. They want to attack with the Lodestone Golem, I will block. I will, I guess, kill this. We also have the Cling to Dust. Yeah, they can give us the Duress. That's totally fine for them. Play the Bad River. They are saying they can concede, and I think they're right. They're asking if I would like them to concede, and I'm saying yes, because that would save me a bunch of editing. So I'm thankful for that. So we are 4-0, so let's try and get that 5-0. All right, back for our final match. This hand is either very good or very bad, but I don't think I wanna risk it. So let's just mull this away. This hand seems a lot more reasonable. A bit heavy on lands, but we have some cantrips. Let's put away the, I guess, the swamp. Yeah, so our opponent's on the play. Darksteel Citadel. Okay. I kind of think I would have maybe liked our previous hand. At least we had a disfigure. Go for the throat. Well, if this is Affinity, this is not going to be very good. But we can get rid of it by playing Brainstorm, putting it back, and then playing Forbidden Alchemy. But let's see. Yeah, sure looks like Affinity. Signal Pest. We don't do anything yet. We draw a Swamp. I guess we play the Swamp, and then we will Brainstorm, looking for maybe a Disfigure is the ideal draw. And we can get rid of this Go for the Throat as well. 2 mana. Not a Plating. Plating would be very scary. The Lord. Alright. Let's just Brainstorm. Okay. Put back Go for the Throat and Pharika Spawn. And I guess I end up drawing them both now anyways. Because next turn I kind of want to Hymn the Torok, just so we don't get even more stuff to deal with. And I guess I do just Cling to Dust my own Brainstorm just to draw and spend my mana. This guy can be a blocker. And I do think I want to just hymn them while the hymning is good. Okay, well, they were stuck with a bunch of blue cards in hand. Surge Weirding not as good against Affinity, I think. Although it is a way still to lock up a game. They don't animate the factory. So we're getting hit for 4. Man, let's go for the throat. Ugh. Ornithopter, Edge Champion. Another Surge Weirding. That's not very good. Guess I play this Pharika Spawn. And at least we can block the Chief of the Foundry and the Mishra's Factory. What we're really looking for is Yehini's Expertise. Yeah, us hymning them and then hitting their uncastables is very awkward. Double Weirding, also pretty awkward. And we're getting hit for 1, 3, 7. So we're pretty close to dying. Are they not attacking with the Signal Pest? Well, that's lucky because we can't actually block that. Maybe this thing looks a little weird and they thought it had reach or something. Mirror Enforcer. Well, Yehini's Expertise not looking so great anymore. I think we just Forbidden Alchemy. Yeah, I guess we're pretty dead. Yeah, let's just scoop this up. We're not going to win this. I'd rather not waste my time. All right, Affinity. Annuls seem very good. Duresses seem pretty poor. More Disfigures seem good. More Yehini's Expertise seems good. Knight of Soul's Betrayal I love. Feed to Swarm is pretty good also. And now we just need to cut some things. Go for the Throat can definitely go. There it is. Maybe we can cut Azur's Weirding. Neutralize seems pretty bad. Hymn the Torok can be good. Cling to Dust can go down 1. It's life gain, but not that important. Champion of Wits, cut those. I'm a little light on win cons right now, but I guess I'm just on the kill everything they play ever plan. A bit worried that they might have counter spells, but yeah, we can't board in everything. So let's just try this. Hymn to Torok is fine if they're holding counters, I guess. Diabolic Edict is not great, but it does deal with a champion. We have some good cards, but they're all pretty slow. We don't actually have a mana producing land, not colored mana anyways, so let's mulligan. This seems good. Bunch of removal. Keep. We bottom this Cling. They mull to 6 as well. River of Tears, say go. Let's see what they can do. The fact that they're playing Mirror Enforcer is kind of scary because that's one of the cards that doesn't die to a lot of the removal that we run. Ginger Brute, alright. We'll take our damage. We'll play the Sunken Rune so we can Bile Blight if we need to, or double Disfigure. Mishra's Factory. I hope they just go for the scissors, but I imagine they don't. Gingerbrute. Okay. So once they go to attacks, we just Bile Blight both of these guys. Don't want to do it yet, because if they have the improvised counterspell, they can use it. They wanted to cast something, but decided against it. Okay, so unless they have like Spell Pierce in their deck, this should be real good. What's their follow-up? Springleaf Drum. Yeah, that's fine. Right, land. I wouldn't mind drawing Zurswerding. I think I would just play it here. We have a lot of answers. Let's see. They're thinking Signal Pest. Yeah. And what else? Cranial Plating. We can counter that. That's very nice. Cranial Plating is very scary. We will make double black. Just figure their Signal Pest as well. And then just counter that. Another River of Tears. We do need to draw something to actually pull ahead. Maybe it was greedy to kill the Signal Pest, because it's not actually that threatening if there's not that many more creatures on the board. We could have used that disfigure to kill the other creatures that they would play. Okay, Mishra's Factory. So attack with this, I do think I disfigure it, just because they seem to be light on mana, and it's an annoying threat for us to be able to kill. We don't easily kill a man land. Okay, well, that was everything. I think we just slam this now. Yeah, I think so. Master of Ethereum, Frogmite. We do need to bottom every land now. Mishra's Factory. Yeah, we put that into their graveyard. This isn't over. It's kind of close, but I was on empty and they were close to drawing out of it. And I'm not sure how well our opponent knows how to play against this deck. They did put our disfigure in the graveyard. And now that I think about it, there's not actually anything we can cast. No, they can have Etch Champion. Basically, we're only putting lands in their graveyard or things that let them make mana, like an extra Springleaf Drum or a creature that can cast. Ponder. Imagine that goes to our graveyard. Yeah, it does. So I kind of hope that if we reveal land, they give it to us. Put Mirror Enforcer. No. I think we're just on the mana denial plan. Bad River. They give that to us. Yeah. Makes sense, because you feel like a land's not that important, but this turns on all of our graveyard cards, or almost all of our graveyard cards. Immolating Soul Eater. I guess no, we just don't give them any lands. That's the only thing we care about. Island. Probably give this to us as well. Yeah, I'm fine with that. At some point, we're gonna hit something that does something from the graveyard. Pay 2 life. Let's sacrifice this just to fetch, I guess. No real reason to do this, but whatever. Saves us on the clock. Yahini's Expertise. Yeah, they decide to put it in the graveyard. Okay. No, they can have a Chief of the Foundry. As long as they can't cast it, that doesn't matter. Ponder. Sure. Okay, we win. We have a bunch of removal. We have a Hymn to Turok. It's kind of slow, but whatever. Vault of Whispers. Okay. As long as their hand isn't blazing fast, I think we could be fine. Ooh, Disfigure. I do just want to kill this guy. Makes it less likely that they have a card with actual affinity, like a Frogmite. And we just use our mana. Another Signal Pest. Alright. Springleaf Drum, that's fine. Do we get to hymn away our last 2 cards? Ooh, even get a Yahini's Expertise. That's also pretty good. So let's just hymn them. Get rid of their last 2 cards. And then they're just living off the top of their deck. Okay, so their last 2 cards weren't even that exciting. Mishra's Factory is kind of an annoying draw, but it could be way worse. Alright, Ponder. I think we just play the Sunken Runes and Forbidden Alchemy, looking for maybe a Zurswerding. Get to use our mana better that way. We're not under too much pressure. This Welding Jar is actually kind of bad versus us, because I don't think we have many destroy cards in our deck. Maybe the Drown in the Locks, and that's it. What is this? Etched Champion. That's an annoying one, but we have the expertise to deal with it. So let's Forbidden Alchemy. I also wouldn't mind finding a land. That's the land. I guess we take that. Now, maybe we find another land. So then I'd probably rather have had the Ponder or the Brainstorm, but it's fine. We do just kill their guys now while they don't have the counter up. And then we can Ponder off this expertise as well. Just need to find that weirding. They use the Welding Jar, but that's not going to work. Yeah, we want to cast a Ponder. Do we want this Serpent? Guess it puts a pretty fast clock on them. But it also means we draw these other cards. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Our opponent's seen enough. They scoop up the game. So we actually went 5-0 with Zurswerding. pretty good. I wasn't expecting that necessarily, so maybe Ludwig Frito is definitely on something. And let's talk about the deck and some of the changes that we would make going forward. So we did actually 5-0 with this deck, so the deck felt pretty good. I think we played against some funky brews, but we also played against Cloudpost and Affinity. Those were obviously also the more difficult matchups. But nevertheless, like the engine of the deck is pretty solid. It always feels like I have just the right amount of stuff going on. I did miss like the power of having like a treasure cruise to just refill your hand and gas back up. But treasure cruise doesn't really fit into this deck. You have the Zer's Weirding to kind of pull ahead. Normally you control the board, you trade 1-for-1 and then pull ahead with treasure cruise. And here the plan is just to slam that Zer's Weirding and not have to worry with any of that card advantage nonsense. Yeah, we also saw against Affinity how Zer's Weirding can not only just deny your opponent threats, but you can also deny them lands if the game gets to that. I don't know if there's much that I would change about the deck. Like I said, I do kind of miss that treasure cruise, but there's no real room for it in this deck because you're already eating cards from your graveyards quite a lot with like the escape creatures and the cling to dusts. And yeah, I think it's hard to find space for that. Honestly, I don't know what I would change about this deck. I think it's pretty good. It's definitely a lot of fun to play if you like making those small decisions that can end up mattering quite a lot. It's a hard one to play for sure, and your opponents might be kind of annoyed with it. It's also kind of annoying when you have the game locked up and your opponent just makes you play it out, even though there's no real way they can win. I mean, that's totally within their rights, and if they want to do that, that's fine. But to me, it always feels a little bit like a waste of time. But hey, if you want to have fun, make some interesting decisions, try this deck and let me know what you think about it. Big ups to Ludwig Frito for a sweet brew, and I'll see you next time.